All right, let's clean this dash up and see what it looks like. All right, so I just was going to check the color. It's my sample might have been not a very good sample, maybe, because I mean, it's definitely in the ballpark. It could be that this was more faded, the dash, so because it's in the sun all the time, or there was a layer of scum on there that I didn't get off before I sent over there. But you know, it just, who knows, you got to sample this size, and you know, you spray it into a big area, it's never, you can't get exactly the right color perfect. So I kind of want to keep the original paint of the dash. What do you guys think? I'd like to keep it original, the inside. It'd be so cool. I'm going to polish it, get a little shiny out of it, and then, you know, I can probably, I think it just needs some yellow and some white, and I could probably get that to work. Get a little pint of yellow and some white and play around with it, and then get the color to match a little bit tighter on the dash and just touch up. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might do that, or I'll just make my own paint for the dash, and just with scrap stuff, I'll see if I can match it. Kind of hard to do. Grays are the worst color. They're the hardest color to match is gray. People think gray is easy because it's just black and white, but it's never black and white. It's usually black, white, yellow, red, and sometimes purple and gray. So it's crazy how much stuff is in gray. And then getting it the right shade. If you put a little bit too much yellow in it, it turns green. You put a little bit too much, you know, because the black and the yellow, the black has the lamp black, or it might sometimes has blue in it too for gray, depending on which toners they have. So it's, you add a little bit too much yellow and it becomes green. You add too much, it's just really hard to do. Grays and greens I think are probably the hardest colors, just because they either get too dominantly green, or, you know, gray's just hard because it either turns, it's just a little bit of color and it turns to a different color. It's not gray anymore. Anyway, I was hoping for that. We'll just, it's not terrible. Like I said, you can see in the camera, it's not that bad. But it's got the right tones in it. Like I said, it probably was the fade. Looks like the dash is really faded. So anyway, we'll try and clean it up some more. Maybe there's an oxidation layer on there I can get off, and that might make it a little bit, if I polish it, I'll see from there. Yeah. Anyway, it looks cool though. Original dash. Let's get it in a wide angle. Yeah, didn't do it. There we go. So you guys can see the whole dash. It looks kind of neat. Really, really cool. the kilometers. Yeah, the thing's just such a plain Jane. Be fun when I get it all cleaned out of here. The headlight buckets are going to stay, but I'm going to paint the backside of the nose before I put it in too. So, move on. So here's something interesting. While I was getting this ready, I figured, well, these hubcaps are kind of in the way. Maybe I'll just get them ready and paint them. Then I'll paint that, paint this side door at the same time. And check this out. You see all these little pits in here, right? The pits are through the gray, but you can see there's orange in the pits. So it tells me, and this is why I'm telling you guys this, is it tells me that when this thing was done, it had gray hubcaps on it. So even though the rest of it was probably painted orange by the city, the hubcaps for sure were gray. I don't know if the rims were or not. I think it looked kind of cool to have the gray hubcaps with the orange rims anyway. But you can see the pits were all the way through the gray paint, but they were not all the way through the orange. The orange is down deep in these little pits. Kind of weird, that hammer mark. Maybe they were just like that roughly when they made them. Really weird. Just thought that was interesting. Didn't really want to show the whole hubcap thing on this. I just thought that was kind of cool, and maybe you guys would comment on that. Maybe it was the machine I left that in there. I don't know. It's weird. All right. right, well, look at that. No more rust up there. And that really won't rust out again, because between the two layers there is panel adhesive all the way over, so that that, you know, rust is, remember what rust is. Rust is iron oxide, a form of iron oxide. There's several different types of iron oxides. And rust requires oxygen to be able to continue. So if you've choked out all the oxygen, some people just put oil on it and that works. So we will put paint over it, and that kind of works. It does encapsulate it, but it doesn't usually adhere very well to it. So putting the rust converter on first and then grinding it off chemically stops the rust and turns it into tannic oxide. So it's not rust anymore, and then you grind off that, grind it down so that the panel adhesive sticks. Put the panel adhesive between the two layers, and the panel adhesive is will not let the oxygen in. So it's pretty, you know, that's a pretty good way to repair something like that, I think. So anyway, that's just an idea for you guys that have something like that. If you know, I couldn't, if I tried to butt weld a piece on here, it probably wouldn't turn out quite as good, not as strong, and it'd be a little hard to weld this edge here, and a lot of welding along here. That was really way faster and still just as strong. It's very, very strong. There's no way that is permanently on there. You're not going to get that off again. So anyway, got to make the piece. I'm going to make a U-shaped piece for here, and then we'll see. I'm going to take that thing, the green, over on the other end of the shop there, the green piece there, and use that and put that up against here, and then just trace it around. And then I know my pattern, because this is kind of shaped like this. I'm over exaggerated. It's shaped like this, and so is this. Is actually, it goes up and then it peaks in the middle and then goes down. So what I'm gonna do is make two different pieces. One piece that goes this side, one piece that does that side, because the V in the middle I can overlap and pie cut and maybe butt weld so that it goes down this way and down that way, so the water flows out of there. And then I'll be able to cut those pieces to fit the new panel. And this is going to be the tricky part, where it goes around here. I'll figure that out when I get there. Right, so got this thing all clamped up here. Ready for, I'm gonna have to shape the top still. We'll see that later. And I got all these things here primed. First coat, just, well, this is a few times. It actually didn't look too bad. Put some more guide coat on it, sand it one more time. Probably ready for paint. These, not so much. Got some little rust holes. I'm just gonna fill them. I've treated everything inside the hubcap and primed it, and I'll sand those areas, and I'll just take some of that epoxy putty and fix them up. That'll be perfect for a hubcap, especially when they're original. These are original German, how you know, here, where is it? They're really faint, the little tabs on them. That's one right there. Yeah, but their little tabs are there, and they're really, the weird thing is I thought they might be aftermarket because they're really lightweight, but I guess the commercial hubcaps are lighter weight than the other ones. That's my guess. Another way you know that they're original is you look at the hubcap and it's round this way. I'll show you one that isn't. If you look at these aftermarket ones, the logos are flatter. See how it flattens out? That's like Brazilian. See that? I don't know if you notice. It's nice and round, and it has the tabs. So, and it had original paint on them. You got to be original, but they're lighter weight than what I'm used to. Alright, so all I gotta do is grind that down, get it nice and even. Kind of wavy because I couldn't see very good with the bright in my eyes trying to see the line. Usually you can see because, but the way this is angled, when I was cutting that, it was really hard. So I'm just gonna grind it down smoother, get it straighter, but my batteries are dead. So I'll let them charge up for a little bit. This thing here, before it goes on, needs to be painted behind. Because you can't really get paint in some of the areas. And I don't know, maybe I'll panel adhesive this area. Don't have any right now. I got it on order. So it doesn't go on till after the bed tops. So according to what I looked at, so I've got to kind of fit those on still and check those, and then paint inside here. And I've still got to put on all those things over there. Still have these, and just so you know, these are straight. These were straight. I had one that was, I used it as a template that was from the door, and it's curved, and that's why maybe you saw that that one was curved. These are nice and flat and straight, and they go on the inside of this panel. I need to put them, I'm trying to figure out how to get them on there straight when I'm looking upside down and doing it from this side, right? That's a little tricky. So I've got to make a, you know, and you'll crawl inside and do lines. It's a really hard place to work on, so it's going to be a little difficult to get those straight. So I'll bring that back in, and then I need to change over my tongs on this to the new ones I got. Been working on this panel here off camera, and got a lot of that stuff shrink down in the middle. This is a shrinking dolly, and I was using, of course, the best way to shrink metal is to heat it up with a oxyacetylene torch here and get it red, just a little dot red, and then hammer it with one of these hammers. You can use a regular hammer too, it works, but this works a little bit better. And then knock it down just a little bit, just hit it just a few times, and then take a rag and water and put it on it, and then watch the metal just go down. It's a process. Sometimes you got to do something like that. I had to do 30, 40 heat shrinks on just that one area. So, and then after I got done with that, of course, the metal's kind of warped. And then versus hammering on a regular dolly, which you shouldn't do, that'll stretch the metal because then you have it all stretched back out again. You use one of these with this hammer, and what it does is it kind of gathers the metal and shrinks it. So it's kind of cool. These are very expensive. This is a toe dolly. Again, I was working on some of this corner stuff, welding these in. Got some of this edge on here. I'm just going to bend that one over. Some of the strips I was doing in the beginning of the video are this here. I'm just bending them and then putting them behind there and welding them in place. Then I need to drill a whole bunch of holes along here. I think I pretty much wore out my spot weld drill. A lot of holes I've done with that. About ready for a new one maybe. But I've got, just a few more to do, so I'll work my way through that. With the larger bit, the 8mm one, I think is pretty much worn out. So I've still got to shrink all this. There's a lot of work here to do. I did get this thing here coming. I should be here any day. I got the correct year, so I'll either cut it across here and across there and just replace here and here, replace the little section so that it has the church key style, because this is a 67. Somebody put a 67 quarter on this. You could just see it was in an accident and they just repaired it, or maybe it just was rusted out. I don't really know, but I could see the inner fender had been replaced. Again, more work coming on the nose. There's a lot here to do. I'm going to try and save this dash paint, remember? Get you guys another look at that. Save the dash paint. Maybe if I can. There's a little dot here of the color I put it on here. It's really hard to see. It's not that far off, but it's just not quite enough to touch up and blend the inside. So it's a good color match if you guys were trying to get, buy a whole gallon of it. And it's, Tamco has it now. It is this L261. So it's good if you're going to paint the whole thing, but it's got the right look to it. Looks sort of like that. Now, this might be just a hair off, but it's not very far off, but it's got the right tones to it, pretty much. Here's another look in the sunlight. It's just a little bit darker and a little bit more gray. It might be just missing a little tiny bit of yellow and some white. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to get that color. It might go green when I add yellow to it, but I don't know. So probably what I was going to do is going to touch up the inside. I'll probably add some of the safety orange to it, just a little tad of it, because it'll have red in it and won't go green then. Just to try and get the inside. I don't know. I'm not going to do the whole inside with it. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I will. And I'm going to try and clean up the inside. Some of the paint I'm going to try and leave original. Like maybe along there I might just clean that up and leave it original. Some of the stuff up here obviously can't. So I don't know. I'm going to try and save some of the original paint just because it's cool to have something on the car that's original. And it kind of makes people feel like it wasn't totally abused, which is not really the true story, but anyway, right? It's kind of fun to do that. Anyway, then I still need to put these on. I'll get those on. I'm not sure if I'll get that on camera, just because the camera angle and being upside down, trying to put those in place is already going to be kind of hard to do. I'm not sure how I'm going to get them on there, but I'll get them on there somehow. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you make your comments and help the video out. But check out Amazon again. You can use one of those links on the videos and just go to Amazon and buy anything. I don't care what you buy, toilet paper, whatever. Just use one of the links, because then it helps the channel. That's like throwing a few pennies in the jar every time you watch one. Especially you guys on YouTube Red. I really don't make a penny. I don't make anything on people with YouTube Red. I think they kind of took away the money from that. So anyway, it does help, and just those little contributions from Amazon will, like I said, throwing change in the jar. And then at the end of the day, if you have enough change, you can buy some more parts, because I got lots to buy. I'll talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.